Hello everyone, Rain here, and this is the video for people who are just getting started with the Tinker's Construct mod. Now, this mod has been around for a very long time, and it's part of a lot of different mod packs. But if you just found out about it, I will explain what you need to get started, how you can build different multi-block structures like Smeltery, Furnace, and Tinker's Tank. And we will make some tools. We will make use out of these multi-block structures. So let's go. So first of all, I would recommend you make some kind of a setup like this. And this is 4 different blocks, 4 different crafting tables, crafting stations that you will need. So the first one is just a crafting station that is a little bit better than vanilla one. But every other one is unique one that you will need to make your tools. So this is a stencil table that you will need to make patterns, and then you can turn those patterns into parts for your tools in the part builder. And here I have the tool station. Tool station is where you assemble your parts into tools. And there is also an improved version of tool station, which is Tool Forge. And it's exactly the same, only if you have Tool Forge, you can also make a few other tools that Tool Station doesn't have. So you can start with the Tool Station, but as soon as you have resources, I would recommend you replace it with a Tool Forge. And as you can see, all of them are connected. In the back, I also have a pattern chest and a part chest. And those chests allow me to store patterns and parts. And also, I would recommend you use something like Not Enough Items to see the recipes for different blocks. So as you can see, all of them are connected. And if they're connected, I can access other blocks by just clicking on one of them. So I'm interacting with a tool forge right now, and I can easily go into part builder, into stencil table, or into those 2 chests, or into crafting station. So let's make some kind of tool. As you can see in this book that you will receive immediately as soon as you create your world, this mod adds a lot of different tools, and they're really good. So I would recommend you check out this book, decide what tools you want to make, and make them. I'm gonna make a rapier right now. This is a really good sword, and I'm gonna make parts for it, but whatever I'm gonna do now, you can do the same thing for any other part, for any other tool, and well, you will make the tool that you have chosen. So as you can see here, this is the 3 parts that we will need to make a rapier. But you can also take a look at it in the tool forge, find the tool that you want to make. In this case, it's rapier. And here we've got components. So I need a tool rod, a sword blade, and a crossguard. And one of the first things in this process that we need to make is some blank patterns. They are very easy to craft. I'm gonna place those blank patterns in the stencil table, and now I can make patterns. So I need a tool rod, and you really just gotta go by the picture, and then you can read the name in here. So this looks like a crossguard, yep, and a sword blade. There we go. And I can go ahead and store those in the pattern chest, but I will actually need them now, so I'm gonna take them and move on into the part builder. So I'm gonna make those tools or parts out of stone. You can use part builder to make your parts out of some very basic materials. Pretty much anything that doesn't need to be smelted, which there isn't a whole lot of materials. It's just stone, wood, flint, bones, things like that. So now that I have all 3 parts that I need, I can go ahead into the Tool Forge, select the rapier, and let me quickly copy those parts just because I will need them later. But I can place those parts in here. I can even name my sword, and it will be a meh sword, because this is a very bad sword. It's just made out of stone. But here we have it. We just combined our first set of parts to make our first tool, and this is the rapier. But let's make a better one. And for that we will need Smeltery. So Smeltery is the most important multi-block structure in this mod. This is a 5x5 smeltery, and for Smeltery to work, it needs to have at least one Smeltery controller, which is the brain of the Smeltery, one seared tank, which holds lava, and you use lava, and the Smeltery uses lava as a fuel to smelt ore, and at least one Smeltery drain with at least one faucet connected to it. Now I have two faucets here, so what you absolutely must have is a casting table. Using casting table you can make parts, and you can also get ingots out of the Smeltery, but you may also want to have a casting basin, and you can use this basin to get entire blocks out of the Smeltery, because this Smeltery, when you smelt resources, let me grab some iron ore, I gotta show it to you. When you smelt resources in the Smeltery, you will get twice as many ingots out of it. So right now I'm smelting 9 iron ore. I will get 18 ingots out of it. So yeah, let's wait until it finishes smelting, and then we will need to smelt some gold. But also this is a 5x5 Smeltery, as I said. You can make it as big as 11x11 or as small as 3x3, and this is a 3x3 Smeltery. Once again, this is completely optional, so if you are really limited on resources, you might want to make something like this, but this is the smallest Smeltery that I would recommend you build, because this is too small. And then you can expand it as high as you want, pretty much in before you reach the world limit on top, which I think it's 255 blocks, right? In any case, let me put some gold ore in here, and those two multi-block structures behind me, Mega Furnace and Tinker's Tank, which we're gonna talk about in just a minute, are 8x8. So just to put it into perspective, actually maybe this one is a bit bigger, I don't remember, but I think this Mega Furnace is 8x8. So you can make Smeltery just as big as this furnace, and then even bigger, all the way up to 11x11. Okay, gold is ready. Now I'm gonna click on the gold in the Smeltery to select it, and I'm gonna put I'm gonna place some parts on the casting table. This is how you make golden casts, and you will need golden casts to make tools out of ores that you smelt, like iron or, for example, cobalt, which is a resource that is being added by Tinker's Construct. So just like this, make your parts out of some material like stone in the part builder, then put them on the casting table and have some gold smelted, and click on the faucet, and it will create some some casts for those parts. Now, I'm not gonna make every single part out of iron. I'm gonna select iron in here right now, and I'm gonna click on the faucet, and now we've got our iron blade. And I will make other parts out of some other things. So for example, let me grab some paper. Paper is a really good resource. It's a really good material because different materials actually add different traits to the tools. But we're gonna take a look at that in a minute. So I'm gonna make my crossguard out of paper, and let's keep the stone tool rod for our tool. Okay, now I'm gonna put them all in here and name the sword. It will be an OK sword this time. And here I have it. Now, as you can see, it has 3 different traits: cheap, magnetic 2, and writable. Oh no, the rain started. So they all are pretty much worthless right now. Magnetic 2 and cheap, as far as I know, don't really benefit the sword. Now, writable is a really good one. So let's open the book and let's take a look at materials section. So here I can see all the different traits that different materials will add to the tool if I make some specific part out of it. So as you can see, it's different for pig iron. If I make a handle or if I make a head, I will get some different traits. In case of paper, if you make at least one part out of paper, you will get a trait called writable, which will allow you to have more modifiers on your tool. And modifiers is something that can help you enhance the capabilities of your tools. And once again, we're gonna talk about it in just a second. So now I have it, but as you can see, there's another kind of modifier in here. So this is a durability modifier, which means that if I made a handle out of paper, then the durability of the whole tool will be multiplied by 0.1. That means that the tool will have just 10% of the durability that it should have. So pretty much be careful of that. Some tools have different, or some materials have different modifiers. Some will benefit durability, some will actually make it worse. Some just flat out will remove like 200 durability, or some will add 250. And as you can see, if you make a head out of some specific material, it usually adds, or just in general affects durability more than any other part. So just be careful of that. And also, different parts provide you with different attack and mining speed. So, for example, cobalt and manulin are one of the two best resources you can have. Those are the resources, the materials that Tinker's Construct adds. As you can see, manulin has 8.72 attack and cobalt has 4.1 attack. That means that you might want to make, if you're making a sword, you might want to make a head out of manulin instead of cobalt. Even though cobalt is still a really good resource and it's really rare, still manulin is better. On the other hand, for mining, manulin has 7.02 mining speed, while cobalt has 12 mining speed and provides a really nice modifier for mining. So you might want to make your pickaxe, or specifically its head, out of cobalt. So right now we have just one modifier that is any good for our sword, which is writable. And this modifier will give us a little, well, it will give us one additional modifier. And I'm gonna add modifiers to my sword, but first, let's test it. Now, here I have a volunteer. This zombie just came in here and volunteered to participate in the studies of this sword's strength. So let me hit him a couple of times, and as you can see, this is a really weak sword. And, well, we just killed zombie. Okay, but let's make this sword even more powerful. Let's take a look at the modifiers. All of those are modifiers you can have. So you can add luck to your tool. If you add lapis, you can add diamond, and it will increase durability if you just, add diamond. Pretty self-explanatory, this one. And there's a whole lot of different modifiers that require for you to add different things to your tool, and it will make it better. And also, just a quick note, I made my extra part out of paper. So I made the crossguard out of paper, and so I don't get any penalties to my durability, except that if I made it out of some other material, I might have gotten more durability just based on material. Let's move on, let's add some modifiers. So I think if I have some consecrated soil, I will be able to get smite for my sword, according to this book. And smite is really good because it will do, with the smite, I will do more damage to undead enemies. And we have one undead enemy waiting for us in here, our volunteer zombie. I'm gonna be back soon, zombie, real soon. Real soon. Okay, so the way modifiers work is you gotta grab your modifiers, place them anywhere in here, place your tool in the middle, take your tool out, and that's it. It just consumed one modifier. And if I press shift while hovering over my sword, I can see that I have 3 modifiers left. Normally, you will have just 3 modifiers in the beginning, but because I have one part of my sword out of paper, I had one additional modifier from the start. So let me add all the soil I can add, and now I have Smite 4 on my sword. Now, obviously, I just used all 4 of my modifiers to give Smite to my sword. You don't have to do that. You can add some soil to get Smite 1, then you can add a diamond to get, you know, some durability, you can add something else, and you can use 4 different modifiers, and you can use all 4 modifiers, I should say, for 4 different things if you want to. But I used it all on Smite. And actually, let me put it back here. So as you can see, our OK sword is actually quite bad. It does 3.2 attack damage. But with Smite 4, it will do additional 28 damage to our zombie. I think I wanted to rename it, but it looks like I can't without adding modifiers. Should have done it earlier. But in any case, I'm sorry, zombie. Zombie's like, no, please. We all know this sword will kill me. Don't do it. I'm so sorry. So sorry, zombie. Just one hit and the zombie is dead. So what I would recommend you do is decide on the tool that you want to make, decide on the materials that will benefit your tool, and on modifiers. And if you actually select all the materials and all the modifiers that really benefit your tool, then you can make something really powerful. You can make a really powerful sword. You can make a really good and fast pickaxe with a lot of durability, or whatever else you have chosen. You can make it so good with this mod. And everything that I did just now, you can do with any other part, with any other material, with any other modifier. So let's move on. Let's move on to our 2 other mega structures. The first one here is a mega furnace. And this is, well, this is a giant furnace. The way it works is it can smelt a lot of things. So for example, let me put some iron ore into it. And as you can see, it smelts this ore in stacks of 16. Now, this is still a relatively small mega furnace. As I said, this is 8 by 8, I think, and 5 blocks tall. I could have made it even taller, I could have made it even bigger, but this 8 by 8 furnace, just let me put some other blocks in here. Just look at how much ore it can smelt. I'm just gonna place some ore in here just so that we can get an idea of how many different slots there is. Oh, I still can't. There's just so many of them. Oh my god. So this is a very nice furnace. It can smelt things very efficiently, but be cautious because it will not give you double ore. It will just give you 1 ingot for 1 ore. So if you're gonna use it, you might want to use it in combination with some other mod. There are some mods that add blocks like pulverizers that will just turn your ore into dust, and then you can smelt this dust to get 2 ingots from 1 ore. So the way it's built is, unlike Smeltery, it will actually need a roof, and it also needs to have blocks in the corners, though only sort of around the main structure. And it's not necessary in the roof part or around the floor, just around this main structure. And then you will need 1 seared furnace controller and as many seared tanks as you want. Seared tanks, once again, are just fuel, but you gotta make sure to put those tanks in the corners. This is the only place that they will work at. And now we are moving on to the Tinker's tank. So this is a Tinker's tank. I think it's a bit smaller than this furnace, but in any case, this is a tank for holding fluids. And as you can see, I already have a lot of different fluids, some from Tinker's Construct, and some are just vanilla ones. But look at it, just for a second. 100 buckets of lava, 107 blocks worth of molten gold, 73 water, and some iron and emeralds, and this is not even close to how much liquids this thing can hold. And this is a relatively small tank. Once again, you can make it as big as 11 by 11, you can make it as small as 3 by 3, and you can expand it endlessly into the sky. So this is 100 buckets of lava right here. This is insane. It's just insane. So this is how you build it pretty much. I believe all the glass can be replaced with seared bricks if you want to, but seared glass just looks better. It only needs to have seared bricks or seared stone around the top part, like sort of like a frame around this glass that I have in here, but the glass itself can be replaced with some seared stone too. Also, pretty much anything in here can be replaced by drains. So I can put a drain in here, I can put a drain in here, in there, and it will still work. So you can connect those drains to some liquid pipes from some other mods and get the liquids out of them. Or just grab a faucet, grab a casting table or a casting basin and get your resources out of it. Like that. And you can also use liquid pipes from some other mods to add liquids to this tank, or just grab a bucket of whatever you want to get inside of it and click on it once. Now, if I just click once, obviously, I barely see any difference inside, but if I click on it repeatedly, we can see that liquid is indeed being added to this tank. Now, also, there's a whole lot of different gadgets that this mod adds. I'm not gonna go into detail talking about all of the different gadgets, but let's just take a quick look. There is this brown stone, which you can use for decorations, but also some versions of it will actually make you move faster. So you might want to make your road out of these blocks. There is an item rack, which is very similar to an item frame, and you can have your items nicely hanging on those item racks. Oh, unfortunately my swords are gone now. Whoops. But there it is. And glowstone, or whatever it's called, glow ball, that's right. So you probably didn't even notice, but I have a lot of glow balls around, and glow balls are pretty much torches. They are light sources that attach themselves to the blocks and illuminate the area, and they're barely noticeable, and I think they are really nice for illuminating the area. And then there's also some explosives. Where is it? Come on. There it is. EFLN, explodes, safe for mining. So yes, you can use it for mining, but also you can use it to just, you know, blow things up. Oh, look at it. Actually, earlier, I built this I made this furnace a little bit too big, and I decided to blow it up with those explosives, and it was a lot of fun. So there's a whole lot of other gadgets in here. Wooden rails, I'm not sure if they're any worse than normal rails, but they're definitely cheaper. Stone torch, honestly don't know how it's different from a normal torch. Maybe it's just a stone torch which you can use using stone roads, using cobblestone if you just don't have any wood on you, and a few other gadgets that you can take a look at yourself. And I hope this video helped you getting started with the Tinker's Construct mod, and if it did, don't forget to leave a like, and if you're not subscribed to this channel yet, then consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next video.